The anti-vaccine movement of people who really believe around the vaccine issue is sort of a core topic or issue of concern to them. So when I'm talking about anti-vaccine activism, I'm talking here about a very small percentage of the overall population versus a broader group of people that might be vaccine hesitant.
A vaccine is a medical attempt to mimic the effect of a live infection from an infectious disease. The vaccine tries to bypass that and give you product that will initiate the kind of immune response that you would normally get from an infection without giving you the actual disease.
So by vaccine hesitant people might be people who have questions or concerns about vaccines. They may believe very much in the importance of vaccines, the science behind them. They may get their children vaccinated regularly, or they may delay some vaccines. They may pick or choose some. So we can think about this sort of as a spectrum in a sense of where, of how hesitancy might fall. With on one end of the spectrum might be people who completely have no issues with vaccines at all, and yet at the same time vaccinate their children or really support vaccines for schools, vaccine legislation. And then all the way at the other extreme would be people who will show up in terms of rallies. They might be politically active online, be part of networks that are specifically focused on the issues around vaccines and vaccine safety. And in terms of a majority of them being parents, these would be parents who may have had vaccines for their children in the past, but are not right now, are more likely to have children who are not vaccinated at all, or are under-vaccinated. And so again, this is a very small percentage of the overall vaccine hesitant population.
I mean, the vaccine is basically trying to mimic what an infection already does, so that the people who cannot take the vaccines and have all kinds of immunodeficiencies, that they are protected by having lots of people around them who have the vaccination and are protected, so that the disease can't spread to the people who are more at risk.
It's important to separate anti-vaccine versus vaccine hesitant. It's because, in a way, these types of efforts to spread that kind of information, get more people sort of on board with what their cause might be, helps to fuel vaccine hesitancy. In a sense, it's very difficult to give a very concise definition of what the anti-vaccine sort of movement is and what anti-vaccine activism is, because there's so many different components to it, from the local level to the state and to the national scene as well, in different sorts of issues related to public health and government intervention.
Vaccine acceptance is often much higher in people who come from countries that are considered less developed. It's this paradox that people who live in the civilized world have such short memories. They forget that infectious diseases in this country killed millions of people. And the reason they don't now is because we have vaccines. And it's amazing that people can forget that. And this is part of civilization. This is technology. It's amazing to me that somebody can use the cell phone and not think about the technology that created the cell phone, and still refuse to believe that the technology that also developed vaccines is a similar benefit from civilized life.